LL Nation, what's good with it? I am Shaun Davis, SD2 Mics. That guy right there, the original Lucky Lefty himself, Malik Zaire, Overtime Malik. Welcome to the Lucky Lefty podcast. We hope everyone had an incredible weekend. You can see right there the title of today's show, Can It Be So Simple? Can It Be So Simple? We are brought to you by and featuring Onora Whisky. Go to OnoraWhisky.com. It's that premium American whiskey, OnoraWhisky.com. You got New Year's coming up, man. You might as well get you some Onora.
Hey, it's
You
that time.
gotta have something to sip for the countdown.
Yeah, go have you something nice going into the new calendar year. You're gonna probably get all your resolutions locked in if you get some manure.
So, man, we were talking about today's show. So, what we're going to talk about, we're going to look at the four teams. We had a great show on Friday. We talked about the five programs that Marcus Freeman might take something from to build a national championship power at Notre Dame. Today, we want to look at the four teams in the college football playoffs. And we want to ask, man, who's Notre Dame closer to? Who is Notre Dame closer to out of the four teams in the college football playoff? But my question of the day for our fans, with Kyron and Kyle Hamilton not playing in the bowl game, name me the one Notre Dame player that you would love to see suit up one more time from any generation, any era. All right, LL Nation, tell me the one Notre Dame player that you would love to suit up just one more time and watch play for Notre Dame. All right. For me, it's a tie. For me, it's a tie. Yesterday, I watched a little bit of Notre Dame and Tennessee in 1990.
Mm.
So I'll just go ahead and say my one guy is this dude right here. My one guy is this dude right here in my
That's
partner.
real. That's real.
Uh, this dude right here. Simply because I hate the way things happen up at Virginia. I need to see my boy, and specifically, I would love to see him in that Clemson
In that
game.
Clemson game, just two
Clemson
weeks
game
later.
that
Just
year,
2 weeks later. Good
but I
grief.
can't pick and choose. But right there with you, bro, is Rocket Ismail. Like
Yeah.
that dude, man, for me,
Hell yeah.
that dude was excitement. And I watched that game. It was the fourth quarter. I think Notre Dame had taken the lead. They were up 4. They got the ball back. And before this touchdown run, I think it was like a 46-yard touchdown run on a sweep to the right. He was 5 carries for -1 yard. And he got the ball, went around the right end, and it was a wrap.
It
It,
was a
it
wrap.
was it was a wrap. It's like I don't care who thought they had an angle,
It's over with.
it was a wrap. So
Right.
yeah, those are that's I'm picking you, but then it would have to be Rocket right behind you.
No, that's real. That's real. If I was picking, it would be outside of myself. It would be Aaron Lynch
Mm,
because I loved what he was doing his freshman year, and I wish we had that type of aggressiveness on the D line because I think that gave us a lot of edge that year.
hmm
And then I want to see Tim Brown. If I had a chance to play with Tim Brown, I wanted to see what it was like having a Heisman type of receiver and how fast he was. At fast at that back in the day, I wonder what that speed would look like around today's game.
Sneaky fast too.
Sneaky fast.
Technician and route running. He was like a perfect wide receiver in a system that really
Uh-huh.
wasn't built. They got the ball to him, but if he was in today's college game, where man passing is like premium,
Yeah, he probably would go crazy.
man, he would go bonkers. And then Lou Holtz only had him for one season.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, people in the chat are saying that's a hard one. We'll get to your comments. Question of the day: if you have one more or one Notre Dame player from any era that you would want to see suit up for Notre Dame one more time, just one more time, let me know. Let us know who it was. So we have breaking news, bro. Some breaking news this morning, right? This is very interesting. We might have to switch gears. We're going to talk about how Notre Dame stacks up against the 4 teams in the college football playoffs and connect it to the show on Friday. Thank you guys for so much for getting us up. We keep getting more and more subscribers. You're doing your job. You're helping us out. You're letting other people know about the Lucky Lefty podcast. You're subscribing, you're sharing, and you're liking, and we appreciate you guys so much. Super Chat more than likely will be available for us this week. We're going through the final step of that process, so we look forward to you guys being able to get at us with the Super Chats. So let's pause on what we wanted to talk about. We woke up early this morning. You had to do some digging, and we discussed it offline. So Trojan Talk Podcast had former USC quarterback Kedon Slovis on yesterday for the last time.
And they were asking, hopefully for the last time.
Yeah, that's the way they promoted it, right? For the last time, exclusive sit-down interview. So Kedon Slovis was sitting down with Trojan Talk Podcast, and they were asking him about the process of the transfer portal and everything. And they asked him, about the process and when it actually started. And he talked about how weird it was, but then he adds something else that connects to Notre Dame that I find very interesting.
I have a funny experience. I was at the gym and, I told compliance at USC I wanted to jump in on Monday, and I was in between sets, and my dad texted me, when are you going to hit it? I texted the compliance guy at SC, and he responded, whenever you're ready, just let me know. And I was like, sure, put it in. And by the end of that set, my phone started blowing up, and it was crazy. And I had to wrap my workout and get in the car because, I think it was actually Notre Dame was on the phone the first call, and I was like, shoot, this is kind of developing a lot more quickly than I imagined.
Bro, go ahead. Just go ahead. I see you shaking your head. Go ahead. Kedon Slovis saying Notre Dame was the first school to call him. Okay.
I think it's because of dedication to the Kurt Warner movie coming out that we want to try to get guys that are the hang around, the last pick in the for dodgeball, the guy that's bagging your groceries. We want everybody else but a bona fide recruit. I don't know why we would be the first call when we've been whooping on him every year. What are we looking for? We couldn't be looking for no wins because we've been whooping him specifically for a couple years now. On top of that, this is not getting us closer to that dynamic playmaker that we're looking for. If we got a Drake London, I wouldn't mind a Kedon Slovis. But we don't have a Drake London just yet. I think we need to stick to what we're really good at, what's going to help these running backs. It's that play action game. We're going to have to get the ball downfield. Now, he does have a better arm than Jack Cohn. But in this case, I like Tyler Buckner more because he can run better. I think we're just making it a lot harder than it is. Maybe it wasn't Brian Kelly. Maybe it was the tentacles that extended from him that are making the job of getting the top quarterback a lot harder. Hopefully, this is something where Marcus Freeman can step in and be like, "Hey, let's just focus on those top recruits that we had."
Once again, Lucky Lefty Podcast. I'm Shaun Davis at SD2 Mics. Malik Zaire at Overtime Malik, discussing former USC quarterback Kedon Slovis going on Trojan Talk Podcast. We just played the clip for those of you guys that might have missed it. He was talking about the process and, talking to USC compliance and, telling them to hit the button to officially put him in the transfer portal. And he said after he did one set, the first phone call he got was from Notre Dame.
It's like the dudes we're the rich girl that dates all the guys from jail. We don't want no upstanding, no guy, no bona fide guy. We want to get the worst criminal from jail to date because it's doesn't match. It doesn't match. We need to figure on what we can do to take that next step Kedon Slovis, not only is he injured all the time, but he hasn't shown, at least against us, that he even deserves to play. I mean, if you think about like Josh Gordon had that amazing year against the Patriots,
Yeah.
amazing game against the Patriots. And then, when you circle back around, they end up picking him up because of what he did.
Yeah.
Kedon Slovis ain't showing nothing against Notre Dame where I'm like, oh my goodness, if he leaves, we need to go ahead and grab him. So I don't know. I think that Tommy got to maybe get some help around him so he doesn't feel like he got all the power. Because this is a total. This is a move that doesn't help us win championships. Let's put it like that.
So what does it say about their outlook on the 2022 season? Like, does it say we're not fully comfortable with Tyler Buckner being the guy?
Well, if we're looking in the transfer portal for a guy like Kedon Slovis, then I 100%, if I'm Tyler Buckner, don't believe that they fully believe in me. A lot of it, too, is because, if anything, if you believed in the guy, then you're bringing a younger guy in so you can mentor him, but also a younger guy to push you to be better. If you bring in a transfer, especially a guy like Kedon Slovis, who at one point was a potential draft pick at quarterback, that's spelling out competition. That's spelling out uncertainty and a lack of identity on the offense because those are two different style of guys. And I think Keaton obviously fits Tommy's way of play a little better, but then that just defeats the whole purpose of the stories that Tommy was loving Tyler to start at half the year. So interesting development. That is Keaton. Now, if it was like a Spencer Rattler, where the potential is endless, or Caleb Williams that's a young Thundercat out there, then I get it. But we getting these second time around Hobby Lobby quarterbacks.
Well, you said it's the rich girl that want to date the ex-cons, bro.
The ex-convict, like, has every opportunity and resource to get a real solid guy, and we dating the guys with felonies. Missing the mark.
Look, man. I guess, man, you can. People might be on both sides of the coin. I imagine that most people want to rock with Tyler Buckner simply because he's our guy. None of this matters, in my opinion. I'm just gonna keep it black and white. All I want is Dante Moore. I care less about Kedon Slovis. None of that matters.
Because Slovis will only have 1 year, right?
Because if you're not getting Dante Moore, Nico,
yeah,
Bassina, one of those three guys, who's in the quarterback room right now really doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It really doesn't matter. And I mean, if you want to throw the people's champ in there, by all means, throw the people's champ in there. I'm sure we're going to hear all summer long, all spring long, and all summer about he's making it a competition. They're neck and neck. Drew Pine looks like a leader. Everybody loves him. That's cool. All I'm saying is this is not a good look, in my opinion. As a program, it's not a good look trying to be an elite program.
Constantly.
And you're constantly in the transfer portal for a quarterback.
Constantly.
It's not a good look.
It's the second year. It's the second year in a row.
Back to back.
We keep acting like we're a Utah or a JUCO school where we just impossible to recruit quarterback. This doesn't look good on Tommy's ability to go out and recruit.
At all.
You recruiting rejects. We gave you the opportunity to expand the offense, and you it's not even it'd be different like we talked about. It'd be different if he was giving Notre Dame problems all these years. Because then I could be like, at least we take him away from one of our opponents.
Who was the last quarterback to give Notre Dame problems? Matt Leinart?
Trevor Lawrence.
No, the last USC.
Oh, no, Cody Kessler. He gave us problems when they beat us half to sleep 2014. That was about it.
You're right, Cody Kessler.
And then there was, other than that, nothing.
No, it's a wrap. So it's confusing. It's confusing, and you have to take him at his word. I mean, he has no reason to lie.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect him to, to lie about it. But then again, I was hoping we wasn't the first call.
The first call,
That's a thirsty call. We the first call?
like you sitting by the computer looking at the transfer portal.
Yeah, you
you
waiting for the
refresh.
update. Yeah, you hit the refresh button like, oh, that makes us look so bad. Tommy,
You
you
know
don't
what I'm
have
saying?
nothing else to do than hang out on the transfer portal?
And then whoever job it is to sit there and watch the portal runs down the hallway like, yo, Slovis just hit the
we
portal.
hitting gold.
Slovis just hit the portal. That's what we're doing.
I'm talking about shutting down operations.
Man.
Run down the hallway, then knocked over the coffee. You so excited to talk about another reject quarterback. I don't get it. Now, there's nothing wrong with a transfer quarterback.
And that's the signal, right? That's the
Yeah,
signal.
it's a signal.
They've been looking for a quarterback.
They had to have been.
They
Because
had
why
to
are we
be,
the first
they had to
call?
have been watching the quarterback situation.
Closely.
Yes.
Closely. Like we're about to start practices for bowl game season. And we're spending time not on the game plan with Tyler Buckner. We looking at next year for a guy that they don't even have. Does USC even have a bowl game this year? They're not even in a bowl game. So, come on. We're not making that room look any better at the quarterback position.
In your opinion, does that make things look worse on Tommy Rees, or does it make you question like how much leash was given to him or has been given to him by Marcus Freeman?
It's almost feeling like we're giving him too much to chew, which is why we talked about a little bit earlier. It wouldn't be wrong to get a quarterback coach outside of Tommy to help run the room. I think from a development standpoint, a retention standpoint, having a guy outside the offensive coordinator be your quarterback coach, I think it's helpful for the guys in the room to develop. But then also Tommy can step away and actually take some time. I don't think you taking time in your day to focus on getting a stud quarterback recruit if we're banging on the line of a guy that just entered the transfer portal that he wasn't impressive versus us. So what are we getting him for? What do we want him for? He wasn't impressive against us. So that just tells you right there, practice every day wouldn't be making our defense much better.
Yeah, for me, it's like Marcus Freeman. I'm trying to figure out, like, it's a dangerous situation because you want the continuity in order to really build things and pay attention to a lot of things. You have to give guys like Mike Elston and Tommy Rees like a lot of leash to make certain decisions right now. And you have the discussions not only about the bowl game, but you have to start making discussions or thinking about your staff and also thinking about the quarterback situation, trying to get somebody in early, possibly, during the spring semester, get them acclimated to the system. So I get the discussion part, but I don't need to be the first phone call, man.
Not the first phone call. We look so thirsty. We're a top 5 program with a great recruiting class, with a great system set up. And this is an indictment on Tommy. Because it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Is it I can understand if Kedon Slovis was a
And to clarify, because I see a lot of, before you finish up, just to clarify, he mentioned that and he went on about a couple of minutes later to say it really hasn't been head coaches. He said it was coordinators.
Yeah, it was direct. Tommy was calling his phone, and that's my thing.
He's talked to coordinators. He said Mizzou, it was the coordinator. He hadn't talked to the head coach yet. So the inference is a coordinator reached out from Notre Dame. So look, I know people don't want to believe, but why would this dude just lie? Well,
Yeah,
what we
I'm not even thinking that he's lying. I'm
like?
hoping that he's telling the
Yeah,
truth.
I'm gonna say Notre Dame called me first.
I
There's
wish
no
he was
win in
lying.
that.
I wish he was lying.
There's no win in that
Winning that.
at all. That doesn't like make his tape look better. That's not about to get Alabama to call him.
That's
Saying
like
Notre
Golden
Dame's
State
him.
calling Kevin Durant. It's
Yeah,
making him look like he's a Kevin Durant. Like we need him right now to win the championship, and that's not it. We need to call the actual Kevin Durant, Dante Moore, and be
yeah.
like, "Hey, you the last piece to the puzzle." Kedon Slovis is not the last piece. Kedon Slovis is a whole different puzzle.
Man, a
We trying to
totally
start
different puzzle.
over. Yeah, we trying to start the puzzle over. No, we about to play a New Year's Six bowl with a quarterback that is supposedly everybody is getting behind. Bringing in Kedon Slovis is not going to make Tyler Buckner play any better. I think he sees the writing on the wall where he's like, we getting transfers in. I committed 2 years ago. Y'all not even giving me a chance to start. Y'all bringing in these second time around players. And Tommy's getting on the jet, flying all over the place, but he getting on the internet and making calls about quarterbacks. It's not making sense. Who are you seeing?
And I doubt very seriously that they thought this would come out.
Oh, yeah. They thought this was about to be low.
Yeah, even if they were just calling to check in.
Yeah, they thought this was going to be under the radar.
Absolutely. But in this environment with podcasts and everybody just being honest, like Notre Dame wasn't the only school he mentioned. He mentioned schools from the SEC. So it's like,
but that's the thing. Notre Dame can never be low. That's what I'm like. We're not a low program. That's why it's so crazy to see, like, for them to not think that it will be talked about, which I believe too. But that's just the not understanding of how great you are. We're a top 5 program of all time, trying to be low, calling quarterbacks we know we shouldn't be calling.
Well, this is the thing. All right. This is the answer. For everyone that might say, I don't know if that really happened, dude, we called Jack Cohn, dude. We called Jack Cohn.
Oh, yeah, we called Jack Cohn.
Let's stop acting like Jack Cohn. Jack Cohn lost his job to a worse quarterback.
Yeah.
Him at Wisconsin. And we called Jack Cohn.
And we
so this goes
him.
back to what we've been saying. There is a problem specifically about the quarterback room at Notre Dame, the philosophy that exists there, and the connection to the wide receiver room, and not being able to get big-time wide receivers. And until that is solved, or until that philosophy changes, we're going to keep getting the same results. Yeah. And we thought possibly this might be the opportunity for Tommy Rees to change that philosophy. And what does he do? He calls Kedon Slovis.
Yeah, it's like we're
allegedly. Let's say allegedly.
The quarterback and receiver room should be like milk and cookies. They just go together.
They just go together.
Tommy keeps wanting to bring in these, rutabaga and all these outside biscuits and stuff. It ain't nothing like a chocolate chip cookie. We not attracting the right kind of cookies because the milk is cold. The milk is there.
Right.
We bringing in all these other snacks that don't match. Get you a chocolate chip cookie.
So you're not a fan of the oatmeal raisins?
No, we want to get the oatmeal raisins. We want to get the nasty, stiff cookies from the grocery store, the cookies in the back, the cookies nobody's really talking about. Get you an original chocolate chip to go with your milk, and we're good. We're going all around the world and getting everything else to try with the milk instead of what goes with the milk. And that's why we have a disconnect. We can never put a full meal out there because we want to be too cute. Like, this is not a too cute recruiting position. Now, receivers, that's why the movie was made after Rudy. It's a one-off. You're not in the way for real. You're not a main piece of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Our meat and potatoes can't be getting from the transfer portal. We have to have a homegrown guy that's bought in, guy that we have sat down and ate his mama's cooking and have a real relationship. Right now, we don't have a strong relationship with our quarterbacks from the coaching staff. What you think Drew Pine? What you think Drew Pine's thinking about the quarterback room now? He's like, we getting a transfer?
Right.
What is,
Right.
I'm the people's champ. We getting a transfer? Nobody is good enough in this room that we got to get a transfer again?
What do you think the defense is saying after they spanked him for the past 2 seasons? Like,
The
y'all going to
defense
get
is
this
like,
dude?
yeah.
This
Defense like we done seen the scouting report and executed the scouting report a couple times against this guy. He ain't even making us better during the week.
So let me ask you a question. Now, man, I'm looking forward to seeing what everybody says in the comments. You just really tapped into something. Would you be okay if Dante Moore was on the other side? Would you be okay going 8-4, 9-3 next year, just letting Tyler play?
100%. I don't think that if we don't commit to a guy after spring, saying like, okay, Tyler's our bona fide guy. He's been running first team all spring. Then an 8-4 season, especially the first game, is a total loss.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Because if we can guarantee we get that right guy the next year, I can wait another year.
Yeah.
Because I think the second year will be more important for Marcus than the first year. Because now he's getting a full hand in the cookie jar. First year, that first game is important, but if he loses, we're looking at his recruiting for next year. Because that first game is really the whole season. I mean, we're not going to play a team better than Ohio State next year after that first game. Sort of like how the Clemson and Georgia was set up. That loss that Clemson took that first game really determined their season moving forward. Yeah. They ain't even finished in the top. Well, did they finish in the top 25? I don't even know.
Yeah, they finished in the top 25, yeah.
But for a while, they wasn't even, that first game affected a lot of what happened, and they rebounded towards the end. So that could be similar for us next year.
Yeah.
If we're not committed to a guy damn near before spring is over. Because that confidence has to be at that position. Now, if we talking about bringing in this kid in spring and trying to compete and get ready through the summer and all that, we're not winning against Ohio State. It just doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Because neither one of them are superstar talented standalone to just be thrown in there and be like, all right, he's going to make a difference.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's just very interesting, man. Very interesting that Notre Dame would choose, allegedly, to call Kedon Slovis and gauge interest in him possibly transferring to Notre Dame. We've talked about the quarterback room, and we would want it to be better or in better shape than it is. But I don't particularly have a problem with where it is. I think the talent around them and the talent on the roster still can go out next year. We talked about the schedule on a previous podcast. We can go win 10 games with those two quarterbacks.
10 games?
Yeah. They went to – because the tough games are Ohio State and Clemson. Everybody else, we have more talent.
BYU would be a tough game if we don't have a
it'd be a tough game. It's still a dub. Because their defense is not going to be good.
Not going to be good.
No. So, man, you got 3 tough games. If you win one of those tough games, you win 10 games.
Yeah. You win the Ohio State game, I think we'll win 10 games.
Just
if you lose the Ohio State game, I give us 8 games.
And you win 10 games. That's what I'm saying. But if in the middle of that, if you win 9 games, you go into the last game of the season at USC on November 26th, and you're 8-3, and you get a win in that game, and you're 9-3, and the day after that, Dante Moore commits to Notre Dame.
Yeah, that's a good season.
I'm happy with that.
That's a good season.
On the flip side, if you go 11-1, and you don't get any of the top 3 quarterbacks that you're targeting for the 2023 class, Yo,
Because Keaton got 2 years left, right?
yeah, he has 2 years left. So it's not a Jack Holmes situation where it's just 1 year. He
Oh man.
wants to go somewhere where he can get 2 years,
Oh
start,
man.
and get to the pros. So
Oh
now what are you
man.
saying?
So we just making it. You talking about digging a hole even deeper? At least the Jack problem is cool because it's a 1 year deal.
Just one off.
But we getting a whole lease set up with this guy. Tyler's leaving. So how you think Tyler's mental is going into the bowl game? He like, man, I'm leaving after this.
Man, look, we said the transfer portal was about to get very interesting and
Because
become a
the
wild,
best
wild
thing
west.
is we get Keaton,
Yeah.
Tyler leaves, and we get Dante. So after Keaton's second year, Dante be ready to go. But we can't have all three. Somebody got to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. P Dub says, is this an indictment on TB?
Yes.
That was pretty straight to the point. Yeah.
Yes, 100%. This
Yeah.
is not because we talked about the most important recruit position that Marcus Freeman needs moving forward is the quarterback position.
Yeah.
You're messing it up early because you're not going to get good recruiting getting Keaton with the amount of time he has left and with the guy that you got that you're non-committal to right now. If I'm Tyler Buckner, I don't know if you committed to me for the future or not. If I'm hearing that's the first call, like
Man.
like y'all thought of me that much that y'all had to call him first. I'm talking about he said he hit the button and had to run to the car because Notre Dame started calling in between sets. Like we didn't even let the man finish his own workout.
His workout.
We had to cut his workout short after he hit the button.
And it's really not about, look, we say allegedly. You choose whether or not you believe Kedon Slovis. Personally, I don't think he has any reason to just flat out lie.
Straight up. I don't think Tyler think he's lying.
He didn't reference anybody, but later in the podcast, he did say that he's been hearing from coaches and coordinators, not head coaches. With all of that being said, what I take from this, I don't even care. I don't even really care.
Yeah.
The fact that it's Kedon Slovis is not even the issue.
Yeah.
The issue is Notre Dame looks like they've been staring at the screen, thirsty for transfers for quarterbacks. That's what it looks like.
Yes.
That's what it looks like. It doesn't matter that it's Kedon Slovis. You can take any name of any quarterback that's looking to transfer.
Yeah, we're looking at anybody.
Notre Dame is at the computer screen watching the transfer portal, waiting for quarterbacks to jump in.
Got the notifications.
Yes.
Waiting for the little bar to pop up on your screen. That says a lot. Because the season's not even over yet, and we looking for guys at the drop of a hat. The season we ain't even got to the off season.
Man.
And we can't even wait for guys to fully feel like they want to leave yet. Before we hitting them up saying, hey, just think about us. If I'm Tyler Buckner, I'm going right to Tommy's office and be like, what is this? What is this? Let me see your computer screen right now. What you looking at? What you looking at computer right now? Because you're killing me. You're killing me, Tommy.
Let me see your history, dude.
Yeah, I already just went through this going back and forth, developing under you, putting in Jack and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
Where do you think it goes from here? You bring in a guy my own age.
Yeah.
This ain't even like a veteran, teaching me the game, whatever, helping me get better. This is a direct competition. Either guy is good for the job, more confusion on offense. I don't feel like you really like me. What's going on? Man, didn't you just see us whoop this guy?
Constantly.
So this is the type of stuff that I went through on the super the super shaky ground that you stand on as a quarterback at Notre Dame, because there's no certainty that anybody has your back. You You don't know if them telling you you're gonna play and you're gonna lead the team is actually genuine, because then you hear stories that are third party like that. Now we get that, it's a competitive, you always want to put the best players out there, but then there's also a thing called structure
Yeah.
and a plan. You being thirsty to call quarterback transfers like this before the season's over, I don't even think there's a plan in place to execute behind that. Y'all just calling to see if he'll take the call, it feels like. But for guys on the roster, especially when you got guys calling other guys the people's champ, it doesn't sit right with the room. It doesn't make anybody in the room better. And it's the wrong type of competition.
I'm stunned. I'm telling you,
Alabama would never make a move like that.
No.
Ohio State would never make a move like that. Even with the transfer that Justin Fields had going into Ohio State from Georgia, that wasn't even the same as this. Because at Justin Fields, we didn't get to really see the fullness of Justin Fields at Georgia because they was doing like how we did to Tyler. But we knew that he had something in there.
Right.
We've seen a full display of Kedon Slovis through a season, even him getting benched for a guy that was worse.
For Jackson Dart.
We see him get benched for a guy that was worse, and we've seen his whole discography, right? We've seen his whole what he has to offer. It wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
With Justin Fields, it was like, okay, he's still a 5-star. He's shown some potential. He has some good plays, but we know his situation is bad because he had Jake Fromm there.
Yeah.
So a transfer to Ohio State, it makes sense. It's like a better home for him. Ohio State, they don't have a senior guy there yet, a guy that they haven't had a guy that played for real yet. Makes sense. Us, on the other hand, we got a guy we've been flirting with all season, telling them we're going to get married to him and never doing it. And then it comes to find out the season ain't even over. We still throwing him through the fire. And then to come to find out we still looking for guys on the back end. So we just sound like a bad mate. We sound like a person that you shouldn't want to date because we're non-committal.
Facts.
And at the end of the day, nobody wants to date a person that's non-committal. So we can't attract that five-star prospect out there until we can commit to a guy. Now, when we did commit to a guy like Ian Book, there was good and bad to it. We committed to a guy that just wasn't enough. And we had good results. But when you're talking about championships, we need to commit to a guy that we know that can get the job done. And right now, we're not hitting it.
So, Connor Nepper, this is interesting. Connor Nepper says, I don't think it's for him to play. I believe it's for a veteran presence in the quarterback room. Buke should be the number one guy and Drew being number two. That makes it worse. That makes it worse. You think Kedon Slovis is coming to Notre Dame to sit at number 3? Why are you even making that call? Why are you're staring at the quarterback screen, thirsty like that? You're staring. You're sitting there waiting. Yeah. Because his name popped up and he immediately got a call.
Yeah, we're definitely not calling to make him no number 3.
No.
Because we already showed we was thirsty like that. And you think Kedon Slovis is a guy that was potentially about to be an NFL draft pick, picking up the phone and hear a conversation like that?
And he's talked about that as well. He's waiting to hear back from the NFL.
Yeah, so his mind is not thinking about sitting at the minimum.
Right.
He's thinking about sitting nothing.
So if that's what you're looking for a veteran presence. That's who you identify?
Yeah. He's not even veteran enough. He's still like a baby for real. Yeah, no way. And then you said put him at 3. So you think Drew Pine finna beat?
He's the people's champ, man. He's
the people's champ would have no chance if Kedon Slovis, not to be no number 2. Yeah, I don't know about that one, guys.
Man, look, from the mismanagement of you to the mismanagement of Brandon. Dude, the mismanagement of the quarterback situation and the lack of development at the
It's
quarterback
ugly.
position
It's
has
ugly.
been the calling card. We have given other schools the perfect thing to say on the recruiting trail. Like all they have to do is say, give me one quarterback they've developed in the last 15 years.
Straight up.
Name one.
Look at what they're doing over there. They're riding every year on transfer quarterbacks.
Yes.
So what would you even commit? You might as well commit later.
Right.
Right. If you don't like it at the school you really commit to, just go there because that's what they doing.
So yeah, they got Marcus Freeman. They got a new head coach. He's cool, but the staff is the same. It's the same staff.
They just put makeup and a dress on the pig, but it's still a pig.
Dude, other teams have the guns and we give them the bullets. We just give them the bullets. Here, kill us on the recruiting trail.
I don't even think we talk to the same quarterbacks out there. I think that all the quarterback schools are really after. We being Notre Dame are so smart. We don't talk to none of them. We talk to guys that people throw away, guys that people ain't heard of in a long time. You know, we do stuff like that.
Lucky Lefty podcast. Shaun Davis at SD2 Mics, Malik Zaire, the original Lucky Lefty himself. Man, we hope you guys had a great weekend. A lot to talk about. We wanted to talk about the 4 teams in the college football playoffs, right? Mm-hmm. This week, we have to start really digging deep into the game. We're going to do that. Former Notre Dame wide receiver Torrey Hunter is going to join us sometime this week. And we have a couple other surprises on some shows coming up. So we look forward to that. And today, if there was one Notre Dame player that you would want to watch suit up one more time for one more game, who would that be? Just one more time from any era, who would that be? So let's get to a couple of questions. David Knight, is the entire offensive staff FS? Maybe Lance is admirable, but the rest, I don't know. It's a lot.
I think we recruit fine until we start recruiting like it's the NFL. Like we think bringing in a guy like Nick Foles is going to bring us over the hump.
Right.
Bringing in Brian Hoyer because he's, got a couple years. Like, this is not the NFL. The hot young talent is what gets you championships. Bringing in old guys from other places that you liked and can play a little bit.
Yeah.
We're not looking to get through a couple weeks through the season. We're looking to go through the whole season with a guy behind the center that we developed and we trust. We're trying to bring guys on like this is the NFL where we're just getting guys from other teams thinking it's going to get us through, but that's not what's going to get us championships.
So let's take a dig into the 4 teams in the college football playoff. You got Alabama, you got Georgia, of course, Cincinnati and Michigan. I think we both agree that this Notre Dame team currently, as they sit, with Cal and with Kyron, that's what we're saying. We would feel comfortable with them against 3 of the teams in a matchup.
Shoot, the way Alabama played, maybe 2 of them.
No. I'm saying 3 because I feel like they would keep the game close against Georgia, or Kirby Smart would keep the game close.
Okay.
So they would be in the game.
Okay.
They would be in the game. Now,
what's in the game? Like 10 points away, or what's
I mean, dude, the last 2 times we played Georgia, fourth quarter we had the ball, but an opportunity to take the lead.
Okay.
So I see the same type of game. Now, whether or not Jack Cohn can make the player pull the trigger.
Wait, hold on. Now Bryce Young is the Heisman quarterback.
Absolutely.
Meaning like he's the best damn near player that can do it, right? Now he did that against Georgia. Jack Cohn is not a Heisman candidate. So his performance against a defense like that, I don't know if it's the same. So when you talk about, when we had Bryce, I think we will make it close.
No, if we had Bryce, we'll blow him out.
But We don't got Bryce.
No,
So-
you're right. But
So
my
how are we
point
going to be?
is,
I don't know how.
my point
Can
is,
Jack
this
be
is
that solid throughout the whole game to keep it close against a Georgia team with no
Right.
Kyron?
right.
I don't know.
No. I didn't say. I said Kyron and Kyle are playing. It's the
Okay,
college
even
football
with
playoff.
Kyron, that would make Jack Cohn the second best quarterback to play against Georgia. And I
Right.
think there's been better quarterbacks to play against Georgia than Jack.
I think they beat Michigan.
Oh, for sure. Michigan. I
Rematch
want
with
that
Cincinnati.
matchup.
Rematch with Cincinnati. They win that game.
We win the Cincinnati game, yes.
Alabama's just a bad matchup.
It's a bad matchup.
It's a bad matchup. And I love our defense, right? And
They'll be on the field way too long.
This college football playoff sports two teams, top 10 in total offense, which is Alabama and Georgia. Georgia is very deceiving in that way, right? Because they've scored a lot of points, but their defense and special teams has really put them on a lot of short fields. Stetson Bennett took advantage of it. Brock Bowers is a beast.
I mean, Dalvin Cook's brother's good too.
Right. The offensive line is pretty solid.
They
But their
got
wide receivers aren't running by anybody. So
healthy, maybe.
Yeah. Well, of course, Pickett,
Pickett and
healthy,
Jermaine Burton's not bad, and
that changed, but Pickens is like 80%. We know that.
Yeah.
So they're not running by anybody. So it was just a bad matchup. Bad matchup. It would be a bad matchup for Notre Dame. The secondary, right? Because if Notre Dame doesn't blitz, because they would have to blitz to get pressure, it's a wrap.
I don't see us putting a lot of pressure on an Alabama Bryce Young. Now, could we rattle a Benson on defense? Yes. I think we could get some turnovers against Georgia's offense and have Stetson Benson playing a little gun shy. But can Jack withstand that Georgia NFL defense all game? I don't know.
That's a good question. That's a good question. So the question we're asking you now is, who do you think Notre Dame will end up looking like out of those four teams?
Oh, next year?
Yeah.
I think we'll be more of a Michigan-built team.
I don't like that.
But for what they did this year, I'm saying the production they had, not how similar we are, but from a production they had, I think we'll be closer to that than we would be having Alabama-type numbers on offense or even Georgia-type numbers on offense because we're more balanced like a Michigan. I feel us, even if we had to play the same type of philosophy at the quarterback position that Michigan does, we would adopt something similar to that. Because if anything, I see Kedon Slovis and Tyler Buckner both playing if they came. Because you couldn't just not play Tyler. Yeah. And then you're not bringing Kedon not to play him either. So Tyler would just go through the first 2 or 3 years of being half developed because he's always playing with somebody else. Just like Michigan. Michigan found a way to make it work, and they made some productive things happen. They won their big rivalries. That would be more of a closer fit that I see us being next year.
Yeah.
For us to have a Georgia defense, I think that I can see that with a Marcus Freeman recruiting 2 or 3 years down the line. I think we can produce something similar to the production they had on defense. I think we'll pitch a couple shutouts with the schedule. And then for Alabama, I think it just takes a minute to be as consistent as that. I mean, Nick Saban's been able to make changes and switches effortlessly. His shit looks effortless, and that just becomes because you've been doing it for a while. And then the last team, who's the last team in there? Michigan and Alabama, Georgia.
Cincinnati.
I think we're better than Cincinnati now. They just had great things play out, great form. They won against us when they needed to. But I think we have a better built team than they do. But they have a senior leadership that we'll have in a couple years.
You know what I would take from Cincinnati? I would love to take from Cincinnati.
Is their heart, probably.
No, those two cornerbacks. Like, give me Give me 2 shutdown cornerbacks.
Kobe Bryant and Sugar. What's his name? Kobe
Yeah.
Bryant. What's the dude name?
Sugar,
Shane
yeah.
or something? Yeah. Those corners are definitely nice. But then we also got to wait a minute now. We got to see what those corners look like against an actual receiver room like Alabama.
Oh, they'll compete. They'll compete. I mean, let's be real, man. No one is about to win one-on-ones against Jameson Williams all day.
Yeah, no.
Not all day.
Well, one of the I think it's Kobe or the other corner has no touchdowns versus him.
No, Kobe has a touchdown against him. The other corner.
The other corner does.
Yeah.
So that's ridiculous. So we're gonna have to see if that withstands against a certified offense. Sauce Gardner, that's his name. Sauce Gardner.
It is. Man, that cat Sauce is. They call him Sauce. They call him teammates call him Sugar too. Look, man, just give me those. Give me those 2 dudes. Give me those 2 dudes because that right there has been one of the. You talked about it. Notre Dame and man coverage.
It's never been there, but that should be our steal. You know how Ohio State stole Jameson Williams? We should be stealing guys like that. Let's not steal guys that.
That's who we should go be snatched. That's who we should be snatching in the.
That's who we should be staring at the transfer portal, waiting for things to drop. Like that's what we should be waiting on.
Yes,
that's something worth running down the hallway, knocking over the office aide to be like, "Hey, we got one."
Right.
We wait for the guys that them then they got half kicked off the team, don't even live on campus. Real free agent guys in college, like real free.
Like Eli Ricks hits the transfer portal. That should have been like the first.
That should have been the first call. And matter of fact, I was calling Eli Ricks.
For Notre Dame.
Eli Ricks before he went to Alabama talking about coming to Notre Dame. As soon as I heard he wasn't going to Alabama, wasn't going to LSU next year. I was the one calling him. Me, I got the DMs saying come to Notre Dame, you change your life. So I should be recruiting.
Right. We need you in front of that computer screen.
He told me specifically he didn't think that he was a Notre Dame type of guy. He's just trying to get right for a year so he go to the league. And I said, you can come do that at Notre Dame. Come on home, man. We change your perspective. I said, we change your perspective. Come on home. Notre Dame, Marcus Freeman, you love him, great guy. But, man, that's the type of energy we need behind the transfer portal. Not calling guys that is working out at Lifetime Fitness. Not calling guys that's at 24-hour fitness, just getting a little workout in because he ain't even at school no more. He out there playing basketball in the gym, running some pickup. And we blowing up his phone. Like, this is the craziest stuff ever.
Yeah. Blake Scott says, chill out, Slovis has only 1 year left. That's not true. He said he had 2 years left on the podcast. And Paulus third isn't a legit option if Buckner and Pine go down. Slovis would not win the job over Buckner. That's not the point. People, we don't care.
Yeah, you talking like we got them.
We don't care. Want them. We changed the name. You can put whatever name on the quarterback you want to. There is no reason for Notre Dame. It's a bad look to be staring at the computer screen for a quarterback. It's a bad look. I don't care. Throw any name out there.
Yeah.
Any name.
Yeah.
It's bad.
It was the first call.
It's bad.
It's bad.
It's bad. And for this to leak out or get out is a bad look.
And everybody in the quarterback room knows it's a bad look.
Yes.
Because they looking around like, damn, we ain't even done with the season yet. And y'all thirsty for another guy? Like, Jack's not even done yet.
Already. We're in the middle of bowl preparation. And y'all calling quarterbacks?
Desperately calling quarterbacks.
Really? Not defensive backs.
No.
Not somebody that can actually elevate.
Not somebody that's not going to cause a media firestorm.
Man. He doesn't even elevate the quarterback room.
He doesn't even elevate the quarter. That's the thing.
He doesn't even elevate the quarterback room.
He's more of a Band-Aid than he is an actual cure. He's not going to solve Notre Dame's problems. If anything, we're making him look better.
Man.
Like, we did Jack a service.
We made Jack look better.
We made Jack Cohn look better.
100%.
Jack Cohn didn't make Notre Dame look better. We could have did the same amount of wins, the same amount of things accomplished this year. We could have did without Jack Cohn.
Yeah.
We're not making no gains, no strides, no next steps with a Kedon Slovis. We're making Kedon look better. Like, oh, you went to a program very, very competitive.
Yeah.
And survived. Not won a championship, but you were around. You had a Jared Stidham at Auburn type of career. You went for 2 years. You flirted with greatness and you was out, but you didn't make Auburn better. But Auburn gave you an opportunity to look better for your film. So I don't know.
Wait a minute. So all the talk. Wait a minute. You call Kedon Slovis, but you wouldn't call Bo Nix?
Oh yeah. Hey, at this point, we might as well call Bo Nix.
You call Kedon Slovis a dude that hasn't beaten Notre Dame, but you won't call Bo Nix a dude that beat Alabama.
I do believe we hit Bo Nix.
So now
because of how thirsty we was on the transfer portal, I believe we hit Bo Nix as well. He just ain't got on the podcast yet.
Yeah.
But if we call Kedon Slovis, we 100% call Bo Nix. 100%.
Yeah.
Well, I don't see how we don't. Bo Nix just talked about on the TV yesterday he was leaving. And I know within that 24 hours, we contacted him. That's great.
So that assured you, even though we haven't heard it yet and it hasn't come out.
The cat is out of the bag. The way we went after Kedon Slovis with this
Pac-12.
Yeah. The way that we approached going after quarterbacks and the season isn't over yet.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if we then contacted everyone. I wouldn't be surprised if we contacted DJ. Or we didn't have. I bet you we had some talks with Spencer.
Man,
I bet you we had some talks with Spencer because he was the first one in the portal.
Right before he chose.
If we was that thirsty. I know we was on there before Keaton was. So
yeah. Lucky Lefty podcast. So look, offensively, 2 teams in the college football playoffs are top 10. Defensively, we have 3 top 10 teams in the college football playoff. Defensively.
Yes, Michigan, Alabama, Ohio State, right? Or
no, Michigan, Alabama,
Georgia.
No, Michigan, Cincinnati, Georgia.
Really?
Yeah, Alabama's not top 10 this year.
Wow. Well, yeah, I can imagine Cincinnati if you got 2 corners that gave up a total of 1 touchdown.
Yeah. And that's in scoring defense we're talking about. And Notre Dame comes in tied for 9th at 18. So now that's a threshold to get up to where Michigan was. That's basically a difference of 2 points, right?
Yeah.
And I think the secondary of Notre Dame's is comparable or better than Michigan's secondary.
Yeah, I mean, we're a better team than Michigan.
I would probably give the edge to Michigan's linebackers.
I would give it to their D-line before I give it to the linebackers. I think we have more depth than they do at
linebackers. I think that middle linebackers are better. That's just my opinion. Yeah.
I mean, if you're talking about starters, I would say that as a unit, I think we have a better unit. I think they have better ones.
Okay.
But if you had to take us all in the vacuum, like what group would you pick first?
Yeah.
I would pick us as a group. But if we talking players, I think I would take their ones and maybe their backup.
So you would take Notre Dame's D-line over Michigan's D-line?
As a group, yes.
As a group. So
like Aiden Hutchinson's had a great year. He's had a great year.
And so basically you're saying if you're just talking about like the starters, of course, Ajabo and Hutchinson
would be great.
Would be better from a sack standpoint. Because neither one of them played a run.
Not at all.
Neither one of them played a run. Michigan State.
That's why I was surprised in how he was even at the ceremony because he's not a run stopper.
Yeah.
If you're going to be at the ceremony, you're doing it all.
Yeah.
Charles Woodson did it all.
And Will Anderson had better stats. That was the thing.
Way better stats.
Way better stats than Aiden Hudson. Way better. Way better stats. So, Yeah, I was kind of confused by that. We talked about that. We both said we felt like he didn't deserve to be in New York. Like he had a great season,
and that's a messed up thing.
And that's a messed up
you don't
thing
want to
say,
tell no
but
kid.
it's like, man, bro, we watched somebody dominate in the SEC
the whole year,
and really think he was the dog on that defense.
And he wasn't even top 5 on Heisman finishes.
No. And Aiden Hutchinson had another dude on the other side that was just as effective rushing the passer. Will Anderson had no other. He didn't have anybody else.
I couldn't name another defensive player by name on Alabama other than him.
No, not in the front.
Yeah, definitely not in the front.
And McKinstry and back there as a DB, a freshman starting, man, that kid's gonna be really good.
Yeah,
he's gonna be really good. But that's what we're talking about, man. It's like,
and Jordan Battle, Jordan Battle.
Yeah. So yeah, I would take Cincinnati's DBs. I think Isaiah Foskey could be like Will Anderson next year if he came back.
Shit. Well, he got to get some more weight on him. Got to get some more weight on him.
Yeah.
And he got to turn his motor up all the time.
All the time.
He got a motor, but Will Anderson got a motor all the time.
Yeah. All the time. I don't think.
But if Isaiah Foskey was like Will Anderson's numbers and his personality, we win a championship.
If he was that dominant?
If he was that dominant, we would win a championship.
Yeah,
and then 14 came back.
Yeah. We know, but we do know that the linebacker room, speaking specifically about Notre Dame and its recruiting class, they specifically targeted the linebacker position. Marcus Freeman went hard.
Yeah, that's him. That's a reflection of him directly on the team.
Yeah. He was like, yo, this is the room we need to upgrade immediately.
Yeah, and we got Maris coming back. I like little Maris.
Jordan Patella. Jordan should be a little bit better. Some intel, I know, on the message board, always support and stay in tune, stay locked in with the message board over at Irish Breakdown. Banker weekend news that came out of that is that more than likely Myron is going to keep going to the NFL. Jason Ademilola more than likely is leaning to coming back, but I'm sure he'll get information from the NFL. And Avery Davis has told the team that he's coming back next year. Now, you know how I feel about that. So, and I'm not mad at him securing his future and the opportunity for him to get to the league and be productive. And there was no way, Notre Dame is not about to tell him we don't want you.
Tommy got to find a way to see. He should be focused on how is he going to get everybody to football instead of calling for more quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Because you bringing in that's a problem right there.
Yeah.
Not that we don't want Avery Davis, but how are you going to put all these other guys in there as well? Because Avery requires 5 or 6 targets a game, maybe even more.
Yeah.
And we barely throwing it. So
that's a fact.
So I don't know. There's only one football out there, Tommy.
So did you see this, man? Phil Steele. Let me be petty, right? Let me be petty. So, you know what, bro? Let's go ahead and do it.
Petticoat. Petticoat Junction.
It's time to get petty.
Oh, we did a good job executing. Are you upset with something?
And fire up the Petticoat Junction train.
I just don't like you.
You don't?
No.
What is today's petty story?
Yep, you know what time it is. Pettiest story of the day, weekend, right here, Lucky Lefty Podcast, Petty Junction. So I'm going to nominate myself because I'm about to get petty. Notre Dame tweeted out a picture of Phil Steele's All-American. Of course, Kyle Hamilton was first team, Michael Mayer was third team, Kyron Williams didn't make it. But who else made it onto that picture? Phil Steele made Kane Madden a fourth team All-American. Put me on the petty train, man.
Put me on there too.
There's no way in hell Kane Madden should ever be mentioned with anything close to All-American. And I had to look because I thought maybe this was like an academic All-American thing. No. And I'm sorry, man. I'm not trying to speak ill of any player at Notre Dame, but
listen,
yo,
you know it's a stretch if you gotta get it all the way down to fourth team.
Fourth team?
That means you wanted them to be higher, but you just couldn't pull the trigger. You was like, I can't leave you out. I gotta put you somewhere.
Bro, I didn't even know you could have a fourth team.
You don't. It started because of Kane. Kane's the reason why there's a fourth team. It ain't no fourth team in general. I've never heard that shit either.
They made it for that dude. Petty. Jim Harbaugh. Let's throw him on the petty train. Like, it's going for 2 at the end of games. After your guys have fought hard for 60 minutes. Goes back to Brandon Staley with the Chargers. These coaches, man, I don't know what the Denny's menu they have says on situations to go for 2. But look, it's a 50-50 chance you're going to get the ball first in overtime.
Yeah.
The Packers haven't stopped you in the fourth quarter.
At all.
You just got a big stop against Aaron Rodgers to get the ball back. Man, look. And then the play was horrible.
And the play was horrible.
Play was horrible.
He got sacked out of bounds. He didn't even throw it. Wasn't it 4th and 5? And they went for it.
No, you talking the 2-point. You talking about I'm talking about yesterday with the 2-point conversion.
Oh yeah.
Against the Packers. It's like, bro, you talking about Brandon Staley. Yeah. Jim Harbaugh, man, it's like, yo, because we put Brandon Staley on the train Friday.
That's right.
Jim Harbaugh goes on the train.
And it's like it is always crazy because we've seen so many clips of Lamar saying go for it and they get it. And it's a great story about how they, in sync. But when you don't get it after a while, it's like, man, like, what are you doing? It's no in between on going for it and not making it and going for it and getting it.
Yeah. Let's see. RJG Irvin. Bad take today. I didn't know we made a tape. We just reporting what's been put out there. You trying to stir the pot? What pot? TB has played 1 year of high school football, limited touches this year. I think about depth chart, who is scout team quarterback? And Jelly? Man, RJ, you're going to have to be more specific of what you're talking about.
Yeah, because one, Tyler, the only thing I can do with
we reported what was on the podcast.
Yes.
And gave our thoughts, not about the person, not about the quarterback room. I don't know, maybe he's saying that the quarterback room is better than we think it is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Drew Pine and Buckner. Our point is, it doesn't matter. The fact that Notre Dame in back-to-back years is calling around for quarterbacks is a bad look. Period.
Because what are you picking up on a regular basis? Because my thing, too, is that the only thing I can agree with him on is that Tyler's development is half-assed. So when you talk about
that coming in, though.
Yeah, we said that coming in. So I agree with you about Tyler. That don't mean that bringing in Kedon Slovis is gonna make that situation better.
No.
If anything, if you're gonna go with Tyler, commit to Tyler.
That's
the
it.
only reason why he was half-assed is because we did stuff like trying to bring in transfers.
And I know you disagree in your assessment. Donnie Cruz says Angeli is legit. He might start by year 2. You go ahead and give your assessment. You watched the film, bro.
I mean, what tells you that? Nothing tells me about his film that he's going to be some superstar quarterback that's going to ride us into the sunset, the championship land. I don't see him any different right now than Drew Pine. But Drew Pine is just more certified because he's actually been there and done something. Angeli he didn't even make the Elite 11 finals. Not that means everything.
Yeah.
But damn it, it means a lot. It means a lot. It means
you get to watch these kids at the Elite 11.
And it gives me the feel of, okay, I can feel good about you, checking you out in college, or like, you're gonna have to be a one-off. Maybe your ESPN story, everybody thought you was bad and then you end up being good. Maybe, but that's not what Notre Dame quarterbacks in my mind have a storyline like. We don't want a Rudy at quarterback.
No.
And there's nothing Steve Angeli can really do till he gets there. But I don't feel great about what the room is having right now, just because we can't point to one guy and be all behind the one guy. That's the problem.
His response was, Indy should have a long list of potentials at every position just in case. Looking at portal and future recruiting has to be linked like never before. I totally disagree. Totally disagree. Alabama got a 5-star DB that left LSU.
From the rival school now.
Now, if you're getting that type of transfer, okay, cool.
The same team got a transfer from one of the best top 3 teams in the country from Ohio State.
Exactly.
That's the type of transfers they pull.
That's the type of transfer they want. They're
not pulling no transfers from no Marshall.
Right.
They're not pulling no transfers from no broke down school that we
right.
What? They're saying they're getting Ohio State talent.
Right.
Or they're getting elite SEC talent. They ain't going nowhere else.
Right.
They ain't going to Wisconsin.
No. Right.
So Alabama's list of transfer portals is real short. Because they're only looking from 3 or 4 teams. They're like, if you ain't coming from these 3 or 4 teams, what you want? You ain't coming out.
How about sit and wait to see who gets into the portal from Alabama after the bowl game?
Yeah,
How about that? It'd be different if Notre Dame jumped on Quinn Ewers. It'd be totally different. If they jumped on Quinn when he left, he jumped in from Ohio State. Okay,
let's look at that.
I understand that call.
Let's look at that. Man, we didn't even get. I forgot. We didn't even go after Quinn Ewers.
No. But we put a call in to Kedon Slovis though. we hit up Bo Nix though. But we don't know that. That's just speculation based upon the fact that we feel like, if you call Kedon Slovis, you had to call Bo Nix.
You know we're very comparable to as a staff. We're just like Chicago and drafted Mitch Trubisky over
Patrick Mahomes
over Patrick Mahomes. We are Chicago staff minded. Let's go get us a Mitch Trubisky. The people's champ.
Man.
Over all this other talent out there, because we can win with that guy. We can't win with a Patrick Mahomes. We can't win with no Deshaun Watson, no Lamar Jackson, none of that. But we can win with a Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah, RJ, that's all we're saying today, man. We really weren't trying to make a tape. We're just telling you it's a bad look for the program. Back-to-back years to be in the transfer portal trying to find a quarterback. Because you're not trying to find, if you're going after that guy, you're not trying to find a veteran to back up your other 2 guys.
No.
That's
a halfway starter.
You're trying to find a starter.
Yeah.
Or someone that can compete for the starting position. And
We're getting guys that are at that point where they can compete for a starting position. Like they can start somewhere. You're not certain where, but they can start somewhere. And you want to do squid games at Notre Dame. You want to figure out who can be the last man standing at quarterback, and then they can play.
I would rather they cheat at this point than to take Kedon Slovis or Bo Nix. I would rather Notre Dame cheat.
Yeah.
Go duffel bag game.
Yeah.
Call Caleb Williams' father and mother, like right now. Tamper with
we can do it.
Like tamper all you want. I would be on the phone with Caleb Williams' father every day.
Every day. Just seeing what they doing. Just what you doing today.
Y'all happy over there? Y'all good?
It's like you don't even know this guy, Brent Venables. You don't even know that guy.
Right. Like Brent Venables, you see the quarterback he had last year, right?
Yeah. You saw what they did with that quarterback.
You don't want that dude. He's defensive coordinator. You don't even know what offensive system he's going to bring in.
You don't even know what he's going to bring. He might have you in the I formation.
Man,
just so he can get on defense again.
I would tamper like crazy. Tamper like crazy.
That would make us feel better. That would keep the flow of what the energy of Notre Dame is right now. We already hitting the stride with the Marcus Freeman hire. Things are looking better. Cheating for a good person on a good position in recruiting. Yeah, that's what's gonna keep us riding to that Ohio State game. Not taking dips like rival school quarterbacks that we've been beating the hell out of for years that we want to take on now. That don't make no sense.
So it's like, look, at this point, it's disappointing, not because it was Kedon Slovis.
Yeah.
It's just disappointing that Notre Dame's in this position, or they feel like they're in this position and they feel like this is the move they have to make.
Willingly.
Yes.
This is nobody's holding a gun to our head at recruiting and being like, we got to go transfer portal or else. Or else.
No, we need to form some type of sponsorship and get an NIL package or something.
Yeah.
And like get Daddy Williams to like get in Caleb's ear, like, yo.
Because Kedon Slovis doesn't even want to stay at quarterback Mecca with Lincoln Riley.
Well, he can't. He knows.
What you mean he can't?
Lincoln Riley looked at that film. He knows. He knows. Lincoln Riley doesn't want. You know when you want it. You know what I'm saying? You know when you want it.
Oh man.
You know, it's like that when you get the tap on the shoulder from your girl and they say we need to talk.
Yeah, hit you with that. Hey, step in our office real quick. I'll holler at you.
No.
I'll holler at you. Conversations.
He knew.
That, hey, I bet you one thing, that quarterback room will get a lot tanner up there at USC. You ain't gonna be seeing too many Carson Palmers up in there no more.
Dude.
Lincoln Riley coaching a little different up there.
That's about to change, though. That's about to change.
What, at SC?
Oh man, it's plenty of recruits.
Yeah.
I mean, CJ Stroud and Bryce are from California.
Yeah, that's never gonna happen again.
Yeah, they grow quarterbacks every year.
Yeah, they're gonna have something at SC.
Yeah,
from California, not from
Once again, we talk about how teams negatively recruit against Notre Dame in the quarterback room. Lincoln Riley walks into your room and says, "Dude, I got 3 Heisman and 4 dudes starting in the league right now."
Right now, what you want to do?
What's up?
What you want to do? That's an easy recruiting pitch. What is Tommy's recruiting pitch? He go in there and say, "Hey, we got a transfer last year. We played him sometimes. What'd you think?" If you come as a recruit, you gonna play early. You're not gonna get really nothing meaningful, but you're gonna play early.
And see, this is what we're getting at. This is the narrative Yo, this is the narrative that has to change. It has to change. They have to put in the work to change the narrative. And making calls to Kedon Slovis is not going to change the narrative. Lincoln Riley is dying laughing in his office.
Yeah.
Dying laughing.
He said, "Oh, we finna beat Notre Dame next year. Kedon Slovis go there easy."
Oh, man. He's eating that up, right?
We are not a quarterback rehab facility.
We
don't want to take broken, transferred quarterbacks that couldn't play at their previous school. We're not here to rehabilitate you into an 11-win season and send you off into the sunset. No, we're not doing that no more.
Real Sports Talk with Alex says, I got Ian Book sitting in New Orleans. That's his pitch. Dude, what's your pitch?
30 games, won, and you're a 5th-round pick that had 15 touchdowns your senior year. That's not a recruiting pitch.
No.
It's not a recruiting pitch.
No. This is crazy. This is crazy.
I think that's the question of the day. What is Tommy's recruiting pitch? What would it sound like? Because I know what Lincoln Riley's would sound like. We all know Lincoln Riley's pitch. What is a Tommy Rees quarterback pitch to a Steve Angeli, to a Kedon Slovis, to a Bo Nix?
That's the problem. Steve Angeli, you don't have to see a kid like Steve Angeli. You don't have to sell him on Notre Dame.
No, yeah, he probably been wanting to go there since he was young.
It's easy.
Yeah.
You see, the easy route is what was always taken. We've experienced that. You're not getting Nico. You're not getting Dante Moore taking the easy route.
No.
Oh, you have to sell these kids on why they need to go to Notre Dame.
Maybe that's what it is. We getting the quarterbacks that we just send the offer and they send the right back sign.
Send the offer and they like, oh my God. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God,
the kids that, that we go after the girls that giggle at all our jokes. No one ain't not funny. No, we haven't said anything funny. And they just giggle.
Yeah.
All of our jokes.
They think we the funniest, coolest, smartest.
Man.
We just like hanging around guys that like hanging around us. We don't want to reach outside that and be like, well, maybe we should establish a relationship.
No.
We like the groupies and fans and stuff.
Well, somebody we actually have to work at, like the little stuff doesn't impress them. The tradition doesn't impress them. Everything that we feel like, man, it's Notre Dame. No, you got to go above and beyond that.
That's right. We can't sell that 4 for $40 no more.
No. You
not at the quarterback position.
Keep that in your back pocket. Keep that in your back pocket.
That's when you come up on a visit and you walk in the Marcus Freeman office and he got the painting and all that set up and he put that 4 for 40 out on that table. That's the signing deals right there. But over the phone, you're not getting that.
No.
You're not getting that.
No. It's like, yo. And that's the way we've been operating.
Yeah.
At the most important
I think that's why the people's champ is Drew, because we didn't have to sell Drew.
No. We
didn't have to sell no Steve Angeli. I don't even think we had to sell Tyler. I think Tyler was an Irish fan since he was a kid. You know what I mean? So we got all these dream come true quarterbacks. Like, I think the difference between me and everybody else is that I wasn't like, oh my God, grow up Notre Dame. I was Ohio State because I was in Ohio.
Right.
I went to Notre Dame because I saw the potential of what it could be. And I felt like it was directed towards that. I wasn't like, tattooing Notre Dame emblem on my shoulder.
Like, get it straight. No, get the story straight, because you're selling yourself short. You weren't just an Ohio State fan. You were committed.
Yeah, I was committed
to Ohio State.
Yeah.
Under Jim Tressel.
Under Tressel, yeah.
A winning program.
Yeah, they had shit rolling back then.
Urban Meyer comes in, things change.
Things change. And things should be changing for us. I think we still got Brian Kelly on our breath when we calling people like Kedon Slovis. Why are we making moves like that? That's that Brian Kelly residue. Let it go.
Like he's a bad moonshine or something.
Yeah, like that ideology is still in the building. Like, terrible, Tommy. You're a free man. You don't have to recruit like Brian Kelly. You don't have to do that.
Now, see, look, Captain Dipstick says Jack Cohn was the exception rather than the rule. Tommy's recruiting pitch is Kelly's gone. Finally, we need you to win this natty. Dante Moore, please come to Notre Dame, buddy. See this helmet. See that helmet ain't got to do it. That helmet ain't
gonna
no
pull
headway.
me. Helmet
None.
ain't gonna pull me. Unless, I don't know how the helmet gonna pull me. But I don't even think you should bring Kelly in there because Kelly's not gonna be there when you show up. I need to know what's in that playbook. I need to know what's gonna be around me and that we not gonna be having quarterback carousel. That's the recruiting pitch. If we want to get Dante Moore, go in there and be like, hey, there's no quarterback carousel.
Bro.
We want you to come in here, really learn this thing, and develop us into a championship.
Yo, our boy Troy McIntyre says, Tommy, you're a free man. This podcast is the one I need. Y'all hilarious. Yo, we spin it different. That's all.
We spin it different.
We just spin it different. I feel like everybody should spin it different every day, man. Be your original self. Do you.
That's
We're
right.
just trying to spin it different. That's all. This is crazy, man.
It's crazy.
This show has turned into, man,
The honest hour.
We prepped for something totally different, and the news breaks, and we're like, okay.
We gotta talk about this. We gotta talk.
Yo, Gavin Wright says, Shaun, the development has been a problem. That's the ultimate problem. I agree that development has been a problem. Right?
But development's a problem because trust is a problem. We let our quarterbacks in there for a hot second and then fall in love with the fact that maybe we can throw another one in there too. No. Because we've been winning so much, we've gotten lazy on our quarterbacks. We forgot that it takes one guy to pull us over, not a bunch of guys. It takes a bunch of guys in other rooms to help the quarterback, but it doesn't take a bunch of quarterbacks to help all the other guys. And when you're winning consistently 10 games where it's a conversation and not a problem that you have a quarterback situation, moving forward with Freeman there, I think it'll be more of a problem than it is a conversation if we don't address it and do something different. Because before, we can complain about it. We probably had great points on why we need to go one. But because we was winning, not because of the quarterback, but because we had great challenges in like a team schedule, it didn't matter. But playing Ohio State, first game next year, it 1,000% matters that you're not going in there playing 2 or 3 or 4 quarterbacks at one time.
And going into Ohio State, you better go in there thinking we got to put up 30, 35 to win. Do not walk into that stadium thinking we holding Ohio State to 7.
No, go in there thinking we have to score points to win.
Yes.
That's the only way.
Yes.
Yeah, go in there saying we have to score 35 or 40 to come out with a victory.
Yes.
Because if we're leaning on defense being the reason why, listen, that's Ohio State. You have to score points.
Right.
Because they're going to score points. I mean, this is not no rinky-dink team. They're going to score points because that's what they do. And we're not playing them in the cold.
And don't get thrown off by saying, well, they're losing their wide receivers. Bro.
Oh, yeah, don't get thrown off.
Whoever they have waiting.
Yeah, y'all gotta go to Ohio State games and see the warm-up lines. And see who's running them go routes at the beginning of the game. You're gonna be surprised. You're gonna see a lot of guys that you like, I have to keep out for number 15. I ain't never heard of him, but the way he's catching in pregame warm-ups.
Right.
We
like,
might
who
see
is
him
that
later.
dude?
We might see him later.
So give me your overall thoughts on just what we learned about this situation and, how that plays into what we might see moving forward, man. Now that we know Notre Dame is looking for, now that we know that they're looking for a quarterback in some capacity, how is this going to play out?
I hope that Tyler Buckner can save the situation by playing well in the bowl game if he gets an opportunity. I think that it shows so far in today that we don't have confidence in our quarterback room to the point where we want to go out and get worse quarterbacks to fill the room with. And we're looking real desperate after just getting over what I thought was the problem, which was the previous head coach. So either we still got some Brian Kelly on our lips still, and that mentality is still in the, get some Lysol and spray that thing out of there,
Yeah.
or it's going to be a very, very tough spring for Marcus Freeman, strictly because of the quarterback situation. I believe everything else is on the trending the right way, but the philosophy in that quarterback room for development, especially the way we're trying to recruit right now, and the season's not over, it doesn't give Irish fans a good feeling that the bowl game is going to go how we want it, and the offseason is going to be in the direction we want it for the quarterback position. Everything else will supplement us getting to that first game.
All right, Gavin Wright has a question, and then we'll get to the comments and questions. Our question of the day: if you could watch one more game of any Notre Dame player, who would it be? If they could put on a Notre Dame jersey one more time from any era, who would that be? We'll get to those comments. Y'all think Dale will be retained, or they just low-key waiting to cut bait? Everyone knows Quinn gone, but there's zero word on Dale. In fact, he's still recruiting. Yeah, I mean, that is his he's being evaluated.
Yeah, he's definitely on the hot seat. He's not
Dale
just,
Alexander is being evaluated.
he's out recruiting because he got to be.
Right.
He on interview process.
And he's proven himself.
Yeah.
He has to prove himself, man. Like the moves they make with guys like Carnell Tate, Malik Elzy, like if they haven't made any moves or gotten to a better position, by January 2nd, it's not looking good.
It's not.
When he's coaching in these practices, he's being watched.
And Tommy need to be watched too, making these wild decisions like that because we're not trying to start off with no terrible foot like that.
Man,
now, only because the way we're doing it. Now, Kedon Slovis is not the worst quarterback in the world, but we shouldn't be his first call like we don't have nobody.
Yeah, Troy McIntosh says, do you think we should let Tyler lose in the bowl to convince the wide receivers to stay? People.
I'm not sure that Tyler's like, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm not even sure Tyler's gonna play that much. Because if you searching for quarterbacks, the season's not over, and Jack's only got 1 year, I feel like you're gonna play Jack the entire game.
Yeah.
And that you look at, and then in my perspective of what they're thinking is that we're gonna let Jack finish this thing.
Yeah.
Because we trust him more. And we're gonna put Tyler to the test against a variety of other different quarterbacks in the spring. And then we'll see what happens. We'll see what shakes to the bottom of the jar. And that is going to give us an 8-4 season. I'm just letting you
know. David Knight said they might have to score more than 35 to beat Ohio State. I mean,
see, now we need a Dante. Because who's scoring over that next year? With no Kyron, no Michael Mayer potentially. We'll see.
Yeah, Donnie Cruz, how do you know Slovis was our first call? We didn't say.
He wasn't our first call.
He wasn't our
first call.
We were his first call. That's what he said. He said it. As soon as he hit the button, he got a call from Notre Dame and had to stop working out and walk to the car. Notre Dame was his first call.
Now, if it was a call made, okay. We're upset over. He said it. He was literally like, as soon as I said push the button, I was in the middle of doing bench press. I had to run in the car because Notre Dame was. That's thirsty. That's desperate. That doesn't say, we couldn't even be cool about it and be like, let him sweat. Let him think that we're not interested. We're like, we didn't even call from a private number. We called from the South Bend direct office line.
And once again, I'll speak for myself. I don't give a darn that it's Kedon Slovis. I don't care.
That's not the point.
I don't care. Where we need to go and where we need to be as a program, you should not be in a transfer portal back-to-back years for the quarterback.
As a top 5 program of all time. This is
while
not
while you're trying to change the narrative in recruiting specifically for that position. Calling Kedon Slovis ain't it.
That's a BK move.
It's not it. It'd be different. It'd be, like I said, it'd be different if you were talking to Caleb Williams' dad while he was prepping for the bowl game, and that story came out. Oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah, that'll get me hype. That'll get us encouraged. Like, oh, we're reaching. We're trying to play ball.
Right.
We're not playing ball, making those type of calls.
But it's almost like, man, how do you have to question how this coaching staff views the program? Yeah. Like, we are like a top 5 program, right?
Yeah.
Over the last 4 years, we're a top 5 program.
Further than that, I say last 6-7 years.
Right?
Yeah.
Why are we talking to him?
That's what I'm saying.
Why are we reaching out to him?
We're surprising guys by reaching out. We surprised Jack by reaching out to Jack.
But Jack Cohn was another one that you didn't have to sell on Notre Dame.
You didn't.
Family was Notre Dame, grew up Notre Dame fans.
Yeah, the boy. That's why I'm like, we made his whole day.
His whole day.
He wasn't thinking when he entered the transfer portal, man, I'm about to go to Notre Dame. He was thinking like, man, a Central Michigan, a nice little small Fresno State or something. He looked at this, they said 574 calling me. Hold on, this can't be. I must have died and went to heaven. My dream school gonna call me after leaving this embarrassing school. And now I'm winning 11 games? Like, come on, Notre Dame.
Oh, so this is the stuff. This is right here, man. Look. Johnny S says, has the call to Slovis been confirmed? Look, man, this is what this man said out of his own. So he just concocted this entire story. He's like, I'm going to go on the Trojan Talk podcast and
talk Notre Dame.
I'm going to concoct a story, right? That Notre Dame was my first call while I was in the middle of my set working out.
That I had to run to the car.
He created this whole thing on the fly. Right? And once again, I don't care.
And that's the thing. We don't even care.
What I know for a fact is that I know because we talked about it. We heard things. Notre Dame is looking at quarterbacks in the transfer portal.
That's it.
That's the issue.
That's the
issue.
The season's not over.
That's the issue. And the season's not over.
And we're beating down the doors of people that ain't even in the transfer portal longer than a couple hours.
And then to take it to the next step, that's what you're saying, bro. First of all, that's the initial issue. And secondly, if you're going to be looking at quarterbacks, why are you looking at him?
Yeah, him.
Like, why are you not waiting until after the bowls to see when all of the big time guys are going to jump into the portal?
Yeah.
You're looking at him.
You act like he's like the hottest piece on the market. Like you got to get him now, or it's going out, or the sale is over.
Man,
he's gonna be there for a while. Let's just put it like that. I'm not saying he's not gonna get picked up, but he's gonna be there longer than a couple weeks.
Oh no, Detroit. Y'all basically saying we ain't got no swag. You got to come to Top Recruits with some swag.
I'm not gonna say we don't have swag.
I didn't.
I'd say we have to try. We're not even trying.
No,
I don't believe we try.
We don't want it. That's the thing.
Yeah, we're not even trying.
We want cats, and see that's what we fall in. It's a slippery slope, right? We want guys that fit Notre Dame, right? So then when we don't get the big guys or we don't go after them, we fall back on they're not a Notre Dame guy.
Because we got guys that are diehard Notre Dame guys. That's it.
So wait a minute. So all the Prop 48 kids out of the inner city that Lou Holtz got, that everybody else had given up on, that have turned into wonderful men off the field after Notre Dame, were they Notre Dame guys? Were they Notre Dame fits?
No, they were no.
Or did the coach just get them on campus and coach?
Yeah, he just did his job. He just did his job.
He did his job. Come on, man. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? We got to stop this. We got to stop this.
Yeah.
5-star kids have egos. 5-star kids nowadays, no. You need me more than I need you.
Yeah, facts.
They know that. So if you want to go after these kids and you want to fall back on the fact, well, you know, we're Notre Dame. Okay, be Notre Dame. I'm going to be Dante Moore at Alabama. I can go be Dante Moore at USC. Like, dude.
Yeah, it's like, why do we act like that when Alabama doesn't act like that? And they're winning. They don't act like we're Alabama like they do in the terms of like.
But they do it the right way.
Yeah, we're only going to recruit you so far before it's like, what else do you need to see? We got NFL players every year, championships every year.
Right.
We're saying come, but we ain't forcing you.
Right.
You know what I mean? But we're going to do our job to sell you, but we're not forcing you. Notre Dame is like, listen, I know you're jumping into this, but listen, we need you more than you need us. That's how I feel like these conversations go with Notre Dame. Alabama's like, you know where to come. You know what we got. You know what we doing. We like you. We don't need you, though. Notre Dame's like, listen, we need you. Or what? We don't got nothing else. That's how we make it seem.
Right.
Like all these guys that we recruit, they fail in comparison to a guy that doesn't want to be at his own school anymore.
It's crazy, man. Like, I don't get it. Right? Like, the narrative needs to be changed. And this is something that you don't need to happen. They didn't expect it to come out. I guarantee you they didn't expect Kedon Slovis to just be like, yo. Man,
yeah, they didn't expect because Notre Dame probably wasn't thinking about, oh, he's, thinking about other schools. We're looking at it from, we were so early, it caught his attention. That's probably why we would notice. He probably wouldn't have said Notre Dame if we wasn't the literal first call. If we was like call 4 or 5, then he would have been like, yeah, I had a couple people call me, Notre Dame, one of them, whatever. He specifically said, I even think he ran to the car because the Notre Dame call.
Right.
We were so early. So I don't know.
Rich Dutcher says, you guys are hurting my feelings. Let me grab some Kleenex. We're not trying to hurt your feelings.
No, we want to be better.
We do. We're hurt.
We're calling for a call of action for us to be better.
That's it. We're just making a call to action for the program. Like, yo, stop acting like
we're the thirstiest team in college football.
Stop.
We act like we're a New Mexico State where we just begging for the first thing breathing to come make us better. We're a good team. Like, we don't need to rebuild the cake.
You have all the benefits to make you look good, and you refuse to use them the right way.
Man,
like the tradition, the 4 for 40, all of that stuff is an advantage.
Yeah.
That no one else has. But you don't lead with that.
No.
You don't lead with that.
We lead by giving them the expensive car. We didn't even take them to dinner yet.
Right.
We lead them. We say, look, drive the Mercedes. Fuck it.
You don't lead with that.
You lead with the, hey, let's sit down for dinner and see if we even fit.
Yes.
let's have a conversation. We be ready to just sleep in my bed. You know what I mean? One of them things. Just sleep in here. Do this. You can have this.
We got a lot of votes, man. A lot of people agree with me. Rocket Ismail is the one guy they would want to see. You got some votes, bro. Tim Brown, Shane Walton, Vontez Duff. That's a black man. That was a great secondary. Shane Walton, Vontez Duff.
Throw some Todd Light in there. I want to see Todd Light. He's a first rounder. I want to see what he was looking like.
Probably the shortest, most dominant, because I think both of them were sub 6 feet.
Yeah.
But they were Bulldogs. And both of them were great returnmen, too.
Yeah.
Bunt kickoff. Man, they said today is the Super Petty Train episode. I think they're talking about us, bro.
It's frustrating. It's frustrating because we thought we was really trending and got rid of the negative energy in the room, only to find out we still living on it.
Man. Troy Bettis, Bobby Taylor. Now, I don't want to bring back Prop 48 because Prop 48 was. I'm just saying, like, we can't use Notre Dame fit as a crutch,
right?
And be great as a football program. Like, we get Notre Dame is a different place. Look, Notre Dame isn't the only college where the first semester is tough for kids.
Yeah, like, come on, college in general is tough because of time management. Time management is make college tough. Nothing
it's like to get through the first semester, man, that's tough for kids in general that are leaving their families. That's tough.
Yeah.
Now, there's certain things you can put in place that makes it better as a college program. And Notre Dame has to change that narrative. You have to change that narrative.
And I think it'll happen over time, man. I trust Marcus Freeman will see the problems that we're having and address those, because this is where the head coach comes in. We've been having the same head coach for 12 years. So from a general program restructuring, we're not going to get to see those big changes. With Marcus Freeman, from a philosophy and an ideological standpoint, that should be changing the narrative through time. I don't think it would have changed under Brian Kelly because that's his way of doing it. Yeah. With Marcus Freeman being a new head coach with his way of doing things,
yeah,
that narrative will have to change. But hopefully, they give him enough time to get it to change.
And I'll close with this. We've had instances where we recruited guys in Notre Dame because they were the Notre Dame fit. And the next thing you know, gun charge.
Oh, yeah.
Driving charge. But this is a Notre Dame fit.
Yeah.
You identified this person as a Notre Dame fit. But trouble. Look, kids are kids, teenagers are teens are teens. Some make bad decisions. Don't stop allowing this Notre Dame fit thing to be a crutch.
We should only use Notre Dame fit. We should only use Notre Dame fit after they graduate. That way we know you get through, now you're a Notre Dame guy. You don't get through, you didn't get through the test run, We can't crown you a Notre Dame guy till you get through. That should be the recruiting pitch. When these guys come in that are questionable on whatever the point is of getting them in, Marcus Freeman just sit them and their family down and be like, listen, all of these things that we offer as a resource are available if you get through the whole thing. If you don't get through the whole thing, then don't worry about being called Notre Dame guy, because we ain't going to call you one. You get through the first year, you graduate, you do go to the league and all that, we can say you're a Notre Dame guy. But we're not going to give you that Notre Dame guy title until you get through, because you're not coming having the title now. You're afraid before you can get here.
Facts. It's almost like, to keep it a buck, it's almost like we're set on being one way. We just want a bunch of 3-point shooters. That's it.
We're set on having a Shaq, but we just want to add the nice pieces at the end and not give up Shaq.
No,
just add
not even Shaq. No. We want a bunch of 3-point shooters, right? Guys that can't create for anybody else. They're not special, but they can shoot. They're the right fit for today's game. They're the right fit. Yeah. And the guys that can actually do a little bit of everything, score in the mid-range, post up a little bit, create, dribble, assist, rebound. We don't want those guys, not the special guys. Because they don't fit us. We don't want the special guys.
We just want a bunch of Jimmer vedettes.
Yeah. Those are not the guys we want.
We're a team full of Jimmer vedettes.
Spot up, shoot the three, and fit into our system, and that's who we'll rock out with. What you say it's a 6'11" kid that can run, shoot, dribble, and do everything? He doesn't fit us.
No, it doesn't fit us. It doesn't fit us.
No. Give us the 6'3", 6'2" kid that can shoot really well. That's all we want.
Yeah. That's it.
Because that's the Notre Dame fit. Stop, man. We got to change these narratives, right? Because people are taking our narratives
and using it against
us.
Yeah.
And using it against us. And even though 4 for 40, Notre Dame fit, is something to be very proud of as a fan base and as a school, because it's real. Goes back to what you said, bro. That really only applies after you put in the work.
Yeah.
You
That's
gotta,
that's what recruiting schools and that's what schools use against us. They say, like, yeah, 4 for 40. Yeah, you'll be 40 until you see those benefits.
right. Right. But what about the league? Making the league, setting yourself up and setting
Because that takes 3 years. It
Right.
don't take 40 years to get to the league. It takes 3
Right.
years. So can we talk about that?
Right. Dude. Pete Mo. What's up, Pete? Have a good holiday, bro. He said, Shaun, you are so on point. 5 stars having ego. Stop telling them that Notre Dame is bigger than them. Have Malik walk in with the LB duffel bag and let's get rolling.
LB,
Yo.
And that's the sway. It gotta be an LB. It gotta be something that they recognize. It can't be no Adidas duffel. Like, no, it gotta be the whole kit and caboodle.
So are you doing the monogram LB? Or are you gonna do like the clear color?
I damn near want to do a clear bag. You know, put
Okay.
a nice LB and let you see the money coming in. I don't even want you opening and guessing. I just want you to see that we're very serious. This is a thing that we need to get done. We need to get it done.
This cat walking in with the 60 keeps all Demir clear. So you can see the cash. That's crazy. All right, man. Thanks for everybody that joined us today, man. We appreciate you guys so much. Keep subscribing, keep sharing, keep liking the podcast. Now, we want to let you guys know, because we watch the interaction and we see how it picks up, our starting time is usually at 8 a.m. Central. Let us know if you guys want us to give you guys 30 more minutes and maybe push it to 8:30 a.m. because that's when you guys really start picking up and logging on to the show and getting involved. So let us know if you think it'll be a good look to move from 8 a.m. for the start time to 8:30 Central Time. Even if you think we should move to 9 a.m. Central Time, let us know what's more comfortable for you guys, because we really want you guys to get with us from the beginning of the show and really not join in the middle of the show and you're not really fully grasping everything that we're saying. But today was a dope show, man. Just let us know. As always, today's show will also be available on Apple Podcasts. Go and download that today. Check it out. Listen to it. We appreciate you guys so much. Is there something we're missing, bro? We did.
Man, the Notre Dame narrative, man. I think that you're just speaking on it again. I saw a good comment. Yeah, we got our offensive coordinator was arrested by the police on campus, and now he's the offensive coordinator. So,
yeah,
if that's the Notre Dame fit, then we should be hitting up. The floodgates should be opening up by now.
That's a fact.
The floodgates should be opening up.
I forgot about that.
Nobody's talking about it, but our offensive coordinator has got arrested by campus police. So Notre Dame fits are out the window. You are definitely a Notre Dame fit.
That's 1,000. We appreciate you guys so much. Man, for my guy, Overtime Malik Zaire, I am Shaun Davis. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Let us know how you feel about it. Should we move to 8:30 a.m., 9 a.m., or are you cool with us being at 8 a.m. Central for the start time? Hey, spend it different today. We'll see you guys tomorrow.